When you call 911, how quickly do you expect police to respond? 5 minutes? 15?
KSL investigator Daniela Rivera found out expectations may not always meet reality when it comes to a 911 response. Daniela?
Well, that's right. Full disclosure, I started asking questions about this after my own experience calling 911.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I was inside this Sugar House parking garage on a Saturday morning in September, and I noticed a man lurking nearby. When I got back, more than an hour later, he jumped out at me from behind my car. Luckily, I got away and called 911.
Take a deep breath in for me.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We're going to get you some help out, okay?
But as I waited for that help, seconds turned into minutes, minutes turned into hours. All told, 3 hours and 23 minutes passed from the time I dialed 911 until an officer was available to respond. By then, the man who'd been lurking was long gone. Where were the police? And is this a pattern?
My mind honestly was like, why aren't you here?
I quickly learned I'm not the only one asking those questions. Meet Jordan Mischel. I'll let her set the scene for you.
He came into a park where there's dozens of people, young families, kids. You know, our lacrosse game had just ended.
Jordan found herself in front of a drunk driver's car after he'd hit a truck in the parking lot and kept going.
He gunned it towards me, and I put my hands on his hood. At that point, he's going towards me. I'm backing up.
People in Sunnyside Park called police 4 different times.
We do need a police officer, though.
Asking for an officer to respond.
Please send someone. We need help right now.
Fearful of what might happen if the driver were to get back on the road.
Okay, any idea how long somebody will be?
I don't. This is the 3rd person that's called you guys. We need help.
I was so panicked in this situation. Never had I called 911 like this before.
Salt Lake City police arrived 14 minutes after the first call to a scene.
You able to walk on your own? Yeah. Okay, let's walk over to my car.
Where citizens quite literally took matters into their own hands. A dangerous situation for everyone.
So when you call 911, what is your expectation?
That they immediately reply, like within minutes you can get here.
We know that they expect the quickest and safest response possible.
Salt Lake City Police Department's Brent Weisberg said September was one of their busiest months last year with more than 13,000 calls for service.
Bomb threat.
I looked through their call logs for the entire month, finding response times vary, sometimes by a lot. Salt Lake City Police organize calls into 3 priority levels. Priority 1 and 2 calls both require immediate attention. In progress and major crimes take top priority. Priority 3 calls are non-emergency calls requiring prompt attention. Dispatch records show my call was labeled Priority 3. It came in as officers had already been dispatched to 10 other calls in the last 45 minutes. And in the hours I waited,
they responded to 88 calls for service.
Many of those calls were for higher priority incidents, including an accident with injuries and the drunk driver in Sunnyside Park, a Priority 2 call.
When we look at our response times and we have seen the tremendous improvement that we've made over the last several years, yes, we are very satisfied with our response times. Do we know we have more work to do to continue to improve that? Absolutely.
Weisberg said staffing impacts response times. The department is funded for 630 sworn officers. Last month, they had 33 vacancies. The department is still trying to recover from a staffing crisis in 2020.
We know the onus is on us to fill our vacant positions.
But once they do, will that be enough?
When I review the data and I listen to the calls, for me, it paints a picture of a police department somewhat overwhelmed. Is it overwhelmed with calls for service?
Clearly, there is a demand for police services.
Weisberg says the department needs to conduct a new staffing analysis.
Recognizing that calls for service are likely not going to slow down anytime soon.
The department's goal for Priority 1 response is an average of 10 minutes. They hit that goal 9 months last year. But September's average, 10 minutes, 49 seconds, was the slowest of the year. The department hasn't set a goal for Priority 2 and 3 calls. Their average in September, over 16 minutes for Priority 2, almost an hour for Priority 3.
We need a quicker response time.
At 14 minutes, officers' response to Sunnyside Park was faster than average during September, and still, to callers, it didn't feel fast enough, underlining how expectations don't always match reality.
Are you less confident calling 911 now after this experience?
A little bit, yeah. I hate to say that, but yeah, absolutely.
Salt Lake City Police are working on implementing technology that would automatically update callers on where emergency crews are. I'm told they hope to have that up and running this year.
It's a good question you mentioned there, though, as far as are they overwhelmed, right? Are there enough police personnel to take care of the needs of the city?
And it's not something you can really plan
No,
for. You don't know when
hard.
these calls are coming in.
Yep. All right. Great report.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Daniela.